Meanwhile, the United States has carried out another successful test of an intercontinental ballistic missile in the Pacific. It's the second in less than a week, and it comes amid rising tensions with North Korea. But while the Secretary of State says that Washington wants dialogue, there are signs that a military option could be in the offing.
We do not seek an excuse to send our military north of the 38th parallel. We're trying to convey to the North Koreans, we are not your enemy. We're not your threat.
Every military expert says there is no good military option.
They're wrong. There is
What's
a military option to destroy North Korea's program and North Korea itself. He's not going to allow President Trump the ability of this madman to have a missile to hit America. If there's going to be a war to stop him, it will be over there. If thousands die, they're going to die over there. They're not going to die here. And he's told me that to my face. And that may be provocative, but not really.
Don't judge politicians by what they say. Judge them by what they do. And by all appearances, Donald Trump is ready for war. He's seen the Pentagon's plans for North Korea, and in all likelihood, they've already selected a battle plan. The gears are in motion, and what Senator Lindsey Graham has said only goes to reinforce that. If millions have to die, then so be it.
Are you saying it's okay to use a military option that immediately endangers the lives of millions of people in that region?
I'm saying it's inevitable unless North Korea changes.
If you have any doubts that the U.S. is preparing for war, take a look at what's happening on the ground on the Korean Peninsula. U.S. troops, ships, jets, forces are arriving there in a ceaseless stream. Anti-air missile shields are blanketing the airspace. There are endless simulations, war games, exercises. This isn't about scaring North Korea. No, this is about putting all the pieces in place. So when the final go order comes, they're ready to move. Trump, after all, promised to deal with North Korea. He just didn't say how.
We'll handle North Korea. We're going to be able to handle it. It will be handled. We handle everything.
Oh, they aren't barbarians. They won't rush into a war where potentially millions of people are going to die in the first few days alone. Ergo, you have Rex Tillerson, the Secretary of State, running around talking about diplomacy, negotiations, talks and sanctions, a diplomatic effort to dissuade North Korea and to stop its nuclear program. Of course, unclear whether he himself believes that's possible, a breakthrough now when it hasn't happened in decades. But Donald Trump is on a different path, and the White House is much more blunt. They're happy to tell you nothing.
The president obviously has been very outspoken about how he feels about North Korea. We're weighing all options, keeping all options on the table. And as we've said many times before, we're not going to broadcast what we're going to do until that happens.
Former US Congressman Ron Paul believes that the only option the US should consider is leaving North and South Korea to deal with their own problem.
We have our ships over there, and we have these military exercises, and all they have to do is have one American ship shot at and sunk or something, and then it would be all-out war. No, and never ask question who did what. But there are some people who would, literally do that in order to provoke this type of activity. The options on the table is just threat and intimidation. When we went into Korea, and I consider it illegally because it wasn't a declared war, we killed a lot of people, killed Koreans, killed a lot of Americans got killed, but we stayed there. So the option that we ought to put on the table is, why don't we just get out of there? Let the Koreans deal with it. We're hearing the same type of war propaganda, and that feeds into the people who make a lot of money off of war. Not only the people who sell weapons, but also the people who gather up the oil and the natural resources. So it's a bad struggle. It's very dangerous, but I think we could have a foreign policy, if it were designed more for non-intervention, that we could contribute to a more peaceful world.